This is a review of Chapter 3 in the textbook for the AP exam. It's all about carbon and the molecular diversity of life. All organic compounds contain carbon. Very important. Carbon is best at forming molecules that are large, complex, and diverse because it has 4 valence electrons. It can form up to 4 covalent bonds, and these bonds can be single, double, or triple covalent bonds. It can form large molecules, and these molecules can be all different sizes and shapes. Distinctive properties of organic molecules depend not only on the arrangement of its carbon skeleton, but also on the various functional groups attached to its skeleton. The functional groups that can attach to carbon are the hydroxyl group, carboxyl group, carbonyl group, amino group, phosphate group, sulfhydryl group, and methyl group. Dehydration reactions are important in biology. These are when long polymers that are long chain molecules with a bunch of carbon inside them. These long molecules are put together, and they do this by removing water molecules, and that adds the molecules together. Dehydration makes molecules longer. This is the opposite of dehydration reactions, and this is hydrolysis, where this occurs when water is added to a large molecule to split it apart, and it's the exact opposite of the dehydration reactions. There's 4 different organic compounds, and this is the first one, carbohydrates. They are simple sugars and starches. It is a 1-to-1 ratio of the elements that make up a carbohydrate. C6, H12, O6, stuff like that. It's made up of monosaccharides and polysaccharides, and the function of carbohydrates are energy storage and structural support of the cell. In this picture over here, you can see that carbohydrates make up cellulose inside the cell wall. Lipids are hydrophobic molecules, so they do not like water. And these can be waxes, oils, fats, and steroids. They're made up of glycerol and fatty acid molecules. Fatty acids can be saturated, which is this straight line right here. It doesn't have any bends. It's less healthy, and it's mostly produced by animals. So that's like butter and lard. Or it can be unsaturated, which has this kink, which makes it more healthy. And this is a kink in the phospholipid tail right there. It's mostly produced by plants, and this examples are corn oil, and olive oil. The function of lipids are energy storage as well as the protection and insulation of vital organs. Phospholipid bilayers are the membranes of all cells, seen in that picture. Proteins are made up of 20 unique amino acids. These are all the amino acids over here, and they make up proteins like that. Peptide bonds link amino acids together, and we'll talk a little bit more about proteins later on. Nucleic acids, they are DNA and RNA, and the parts of DNA and RNA are nucleotides, and these nucleotides have a nitrogenous base, a 5-carbon sugar, and a phosphate group. So that's how they're made up. DNA is the molecule of heredity, and it's made up of adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. RNA is single-stranded, and instead of thymine, it has uracil. If you change a molecule, hold on, let me go back to something. Nucleic acids have directionality, which is determined by the 3' and 5' carbons of the sugar. This will determine the direction of DNA replication and transcription. if you change what a molecule looks like by heat or change in pH, it will not work right. This can be through denaturization of proteins, and then the two different types of lipids change their function. The 4 levels of protein structure are primary structure, which is the unique sequence of amino acids; secondary structure, which is one of the 2 three-dimensional shapes formed by hydrogen bonds, which can either be an alpha helix or a beta helix. Then tertiary structure is a globular shape due to many different interactions between the proteins. And lastly is the quaternary structure, which is association of 2 or more polypeptide chains into one large protein. That would be hemoglobin, which has 4 polypeptide chains. Good luck on the AP exam.